Well, my name's Pat Evans. I'm a lieutenant here with Draper Police Department. I started here in 2004, just a year after the Draper Police was formed. So, back in 2003 and 2002 to 2003, Draper City started to grow, and they started to grow very rapidly. And they felt like they needed a little bit more guidance over what their police department would do and what events they'd be at and whatnot. So they reached out and did some studies, and then essentially created their own police department. Initially, the police department had 23 officers sworn in July 1st, or just prior to July 1st, 2003. When I started, there were about 25 officers here. A few of those that had come had left, and they'd gone through that first year of growing pains, and I feel like I came at exactly the right time.
I'm Tim Herbert. I've been with the department for 20 years. The personnel came from all over the state, basically, mostly valley agencies. We started with, I can't even remember how many officers, it wasn't very many. 3 corporals, 4 sergeants, and a chief. Starting out, we trained all over the old schoolhouse, the old park school, downstairs in the dungeon that's haunted.
After the new city hall opened, they gave us some space, or gave the police department some space in the basement. And when I started, that's where we were located. And it wasn't until about 7 years ago that we had this wing added to City Hall, which gave us the space we needed as the city expanded.
We had a good time. We had a lot of our equipment was acquired from other agencies, a lot of used equipment, but we put it to good use, and we had a lot of people that come from different agencies that had certifications as trainers to train us up, so we were ready to go. Now it's grown exponentially. I mean, we grew a lot there in the first few years and months, putting programs together, putting assignments out to everybody. Everybody had a different hat to wear because it was such a small agency.
When we started, from then till now, as you know, the population's increased. We've also doubled the size of our department. We're now at 51 full-time positions and 16 civilian positions.
The camaraderie of the agency, all the individuals, everybody gets along well. The city itself and the support from the community is probably the best.
Probably the biggest reason why I love working for Draper is actually the community. We have a great, loving, supporting community. We've had some very, very tragic times. We lost Sergeant Derek Johnson September 1st, 2013. This community rallied behind us. When there was civil unrest in our country in 2020, this community gathered behind us and they supported us. And to work in a place that your community gives you that level of support and respect, it reassures you of 2 things. Number 1, they do love you and care about you, but number 2, you must be doing something right that your community does care and love you. And so if you look at those things, I think it can tell a lot about a police department. Not only has the police department got bigger, as happens in police departments, we've gone through a few chiefs, and we started with Mac, and our last chief, John Eining, just passed the torch to our newest chief, Rich Ferguson, who has been a great addition to the department.
I'm Rich Ferguson. I'm the Chief of Police in Draper, Utah. I've been the chief since January, so 5 months, and it's a pleasure to be here. Yeah, so as only a 20-year police department, there have been 3 chiefs before me, and the legacy that they have left are the staff that are here still today. They did an outstanding job of picking incredible people. It's a police department that is comprised of very talented police officers, dedicated police officers, and our support staff is equally as dedicated and professional and committed to making this department just a fantastic place to work. And the citizens of Draper are very lucky to have the caliber of people that they hired.
I've seen every single officer with Draper Police come and stay or come and go. So I've met every single officer, and I don't know what number we're up to, but it's well over 100 officers that I've had the privilege of working with and meeting their families, their children, and that's been a blessing in itself.
When you talk about experiences, I really think the hardest cases, the trying cases, really are where you see, I mean, you wish those things would never happen, but it really is where you see how much people care.
What I found when I got here was exactly what I believed it was, a very professional police department, committed to a city that values their police, and working very well and hand in hand with a community-based policing model. So the future of the department is this: we'll continue to push forward with our commitment to community policing. It's so important that we build relationships with our citizens of trust. They have to trust us. We have to work every day diligently to earn that trust, to keep that trust. We're committed to training. We're committed to keeping our personnel sharp and the best practices moving forward. Our commitment to our citizens it will always be our very first and foremost.
Coming over here, I came from one city away, and it's just a different experience here. And I will say I work and have worked alongside some of the most highest caliber cops out there. So I was very lucky.